Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy, and I help the helpers, the healers, and the light bringers of this world to live their most magical life. So if that's you and you're watching the replay on my YouTube channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below with the bell so you can get notifications for all the videos that I'm sharing here on this channel. If you are watching on my Facebook, make sure you get yourself subscribed over on my YouTube channel. I'm really trying to get my YouTube subscription up to over 1,000, because then I'm able to do live readings on there on my phone, and that would just be, quite frankly guys, so much easier for me to do the monthly tarot scopes. So if you have not subscribed yet, help me out, get yourself subscribed to that, and I would be really, really thankful for that. So anyway, so we're gonna dive in. We're gonna talk about, I'm wondering how Mercury retrograde is treating you. I'm wondering how you're doing. I'm wondering what's going on with you guys. I would love to see what's happening for you. This is, somebody asked me today, is the energy especially heavy today? And I said, I think that it's been really heavy for the entire retrograde. It's been a lot. We've worked through some really important stuff, and isn't that the point of Mercury retrograde? Is us working through, us healing the things that we need to heal, right? It brings onto our path, it shows us what needs to be healed, what's left over, what we need to be doing, and so boy, aren't we doing it, right? I definitely have found myself creating a bubble, right? Around myself, really needing to protect my energy, really limiting how much I am on Facebook, how much I'm on Instagram. Some of you guys know that I have been taking a break a little bit. I've been on a little bit more this week, but I just feel like I need to pull my energy back. It's a lot, and I think it's important for us to be exploring that. What is it that I need right now to help me to navigate all these energies? What is it I'm needing? What is going to help to bring me into balance? So paying attention to that, but also, again, paying attention to what's showing up for you. Paying attention to what you're noticing. And one of the things that I was noticing, I was doing, for those of you who are familiar with it, a Ho'oponopono exercise, and through that process, it became really apparent to me that I needed to, because part of that process is, or a huge part of the whole concept of that is that we are responsible for everything that is showing up into our experience. We are responsible, and when challenging things are showing up for us, it is because there are things that are meant to be healed within us. So it is helping us to see that. And so as I was exploring that, it became really clear that I owed myself a huge apology. I don't know how I've never done this before. I've done a lot of healing work, a lot of inner child work, a lot of that kind of stuff, but I've never ever sat down and just wrote a letter of apology to myself for all the things that I've put myself through. And I know that I'm not the only one. It was incredibly emotional to just see everything and the ways that I've made things harder for myself, and the things that I need to do better on, and the ways that I need to honor myself and listen to myself, and not continue to put other people's needs ahead of my own. And I think so many of you are helpers or healers, and that is our way, right? Is to, we're here to help, we're here to heal and assist people. So sometimes that can be really, really hard, but we want to make sure that we are at least including ourselves on that list of people that we are taking care of. So I wanted to talk about that today because I feel really called that is part of this energy, right? Through this Mercury retrograde, we're working on relationships and healing relationships, and what kind of relationships do we want in our life. And a huge part of that is understanding the relationship that we have with ourselves, right? Because when we are in a good relationship with ourselves, there are just a lot of things that we're no longer willing to tolerate. There are a lot of things that we're no longer in alignment with. And so that relationship that we have with ourselves is really, really important. And during these retrogrades, we can feel this need to make apologies to people that we have been, hurtful toward, or things that we recognize and we feel like we need to reach out and clarify some things or apologize for some things. But I think we, again, forget ourselves in the mix of this. So I really wanted to, and felt called to, challenge you guys to think about this apology that you need to make to yourselves, right? It was so incredibly healing for me and so emotional. Expect yourself to get very, very emotional, but so important in terms of this relationship with myself and this understanding of how I want to move forward with this relationship that I have with myself. And that in turn will impact all of the other relationships that I have in my life. So it's definitely something that we need to consider. And again, like I included in the title, it's the most important apology you'll ever make. Absolutely. Hands down. So take a little time for the rest of this Mercury retrograde. We're here in retrograde until the 18th. So I think that's next Monday. So take a little time out to allow that process to happen. I guarantee you have things to heal with yourself. There is not a human on this planet that doesn't. Okay. So honor that and notice what is coming up. I also feel like we are, as part of Mercury retrograde, going through our baggage right now. We are digging through it. We are sorting through it and taking a look at things and looking at things from a different perspective and understanding things. And again, I want you to just allow this process to happen and try not to let yourself get too caught up in needing to distract yourself or redirect it. Let yourself be present with yourself, with the emotions, with what is coming up for you. And this is by no means easy. Like I said, I've been trying to put myself in a bubble because I've been doing this deep healing work, and that doesn't allow me a lot of energy for other things, right? It doesn't provide me with that energy because this is a lot of energy to do this work. And so allow what's coming up to come up. We are also, this Mercury retrograde has been so focused in the energy of relationships. So it's giving us this opportunity to heal things from the past, in particular with relationships, whether that's our relationship with ourselves, with other people, or both. So again, notice what's coming up and notice what you're being shown in terms of how you want to move forward after this retrograde. What are your boundaries going to look like? What do you need to heal with other people? Where are there apologies that need to be made? Where do you need to be looking at things differently or approaching things differently? Let this show you. Right? You may also find, I also wrote down that there's a lot of high energy around emotion, and I think specifically around anger. So this is something to be aware of, because if we are feeling called to have interactions with people, if you're not putting yourself in a bubble as much, right, and you are interacting with people, it's important to notice and be aware of the emotion or the anger that is coming up for you, because we don't want to let that be driving the conversation. We really want to be conscious of that, to be aware of that, to have those conversations when we can be in a little bit more of a calm or peaceful place. Because once we get to a certain level of anger, I think that it makes it hard to really have healing, good, deep, balanced conversations with each other, right? So check yourself, right? And make sure that you are not creating situations or making situations worse because you are allowing your emotions to be driving the conversations that you're having. I think that's really important, so that we're not triggering unnecessary drama, because a lot of things that you're going to feel emotional about right now, you're not going to feel emotional about on the other side of this Mercury retrograde. It just really has this way of stirring these things up. But again, let those emotions be processed through you. I also feel like as part of this like the going through the baggage piece of this, like we also are unhooking old stories. Recognize where you're unhooking old stories, things that you have told yourself, things that have aligned for you in the past, ways that you have defined yourself, stories that you have told yourself about yourself, or relationships in your life, or things that you can and cannot do. There's a lot of opportunities here to unhook old stories that just no longer are true for you. Maybe they never were true for you, but it's okay. You know, we are learning how to unhook that. We are learning our truth. We are connecting with our authenticity. And this is important. This is really key for moving forward. So unhooking those old stories and allowing those to just go. You know, sometimes we can hold on to this stuff because we're afraid of change. We're afraid of stepping into something that's less known, right? It just feels comfortable to stay put with everything that to stay put in the things that we know are have been true for us, or to stay stuck in these patterns. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by comments a little bit. So we want to allow ourselves to release these old stories, even if that feels weird, even if that feels scary, because on the other side of that are these beautiful new stories, these true stories, these more aligned stories that we are now stepping into. I think that it's really important that we take that step back and see everything for the illusion that it is, right? See everything for the illusion that it is. So when I say that, I mean, like, if we can treat life, I don't want to say treat it like a game, because of course, obviously it's serious and it's important to us, right? But if we can just step back from the emotion a little bit and recognize the lessons that we're learning, recognize that the things that are showing up for us are showing up for a reason, and that there is a purpose in that, and chances are there are things that are meant to be healed or worked through, then we can not have that emotion be driving that. Again, we don't want to let the emotion drive it, right? So when you take that step back and you see it for what it is, and recognize all of this as an illusion, and all of this as a way to help us to work through the things that we intended to work through here in this life. Every connection, every relationship, every experience that is showing up for you. And when you can take a step back and explore, why is this showing up and how is this showing up for me, I think that you're going to find some really important insights through that process. The other word that I got is dream, right? They specifically said, we're giving you permission to dream. I think this energy has been so heavy. We have been doing so much work that it's been difficult to really get into that dreamy state of, what do I actually want in my life, and where do I want things to go? And it's been like moving through being stuck in the mud energetically, right? And now, as we're shifting ultimately on the other side of this retrograde out of this, I think that's going to be really powerful, right? And we can begin to take action and see progression in the direction of our dreams. But you have to put those dreams out to the universe to begin with, right? And so let yourself dream. Let yourself see a bigger vision for yourself. Let yourself just think about, what would it be like if? What would it be like if I started the business doing the thing that I wanted to do? What would it be like if I had the kind of relationship that I feel would be fulfilling and the right match for me? What would it be like if I had freedom of time, freedom of money, whatever that is? But let yourself begin to dream, because I think that a lot of important insights are going to be coming through to help support us with those dreams, supporting us in actually making those dreams a reality. So with that being said, I want to step into the cards, because we have this 9 of Cups here in reverse, right? And 9 of Cups is about wish fulfillment, right? So this is like, and this came up here with the Ace of Cups, right? So this is like, where am I not fulfilled in my life? And letting yourself dream about what it might be like to feel fulfilled in different areas of your life. Where am I not fulfilled? Where are my relationships not quite doing it for me? Where are things not quite happening in the way that I want them to? And so if they are not happening the way that I want them to, what is it that I do want in my relationships, in my life, right? And so this is a really great time for us to be dreaming about that, exploring that, envisioning that, and starting to connect with that energy here in this Hanged Man energy. We have the Hanged Man in reverse, right? We're stepping out of this retrograde better than when we came into it, with more insight, with more clarity, with more understanding of what is next for us, or what we need to be putting our energy into next, what we need to be allowing in our relationships, allowing in our life, what we need to be changing within ourselves. We're really coming out of this with so much clarity. I feel like it's starting to hit. I said, this is, in my post on Facebook yesterday, I said, this is the time in Mercury retrograde where the clarity starts to hit, okay? Do I feel like we're perfectly clear on things? Absolutely not. When are we ever, right? But notice what's coming through. Notice where the clarity is starting to hit. Notice where you are becoming aware of what it is that you need to do. We have this King of Swords, right? The King of Swords is about clarity, is about truth, is about communication of truth. I do feel like if we are aware that we need to communicate something, that we should do it. I also feel like this is that message, right? So if there's something that you have become aware of, like, I just really need to say this, I really need to communicate this, communicate that, of course, with love, but definitely let yourself communicate that and go after that. I also think that with this King of Wands, if we are becoming aware of an action that we very clearly need to take, that we should go after that, right? So we're already shifting into a little bit more of a forward moving energy, but you might be waiting until after the 18th to really dive in and to really, you might not necessarily feel like you have the ability to move forward with these things, but take note of the actions that you're feeling called to take and the communication that you're feeling called to make. And I definitely, especially with the communication, would maybe get started on that and start to allow that process. I think there's a lot of healing that can happen through communication right now if we allow it and if we are aware. Okay, now we're not out of this yet, right? We have the Strength card, we have the Nine of Swords. This is a very heavy energy. This is sleepless nights. This is worrying. This is losing sleep over the things that we're worrying, or spending a lot of time in our head. But the Nine of Swords is just before the Ten of Swords. It's just before the ending. And it's kind of that process. For me, this card is sometimes like that card of when you get tired of your own bullshit, right? When you get tired of putting yourself through the same old shit, the same things you've been doing, when you get tired of doing things the same way and you say, I'm just so tired of this, I need to do this differently, right? And so, or I'm so tired of trying to control this, and I finally now am ready to surrender it because I don't know what else to do, right? So this is very much what I see this energy being like, especially with the Strength card. You're stronger than you realize, and we're connecting, we're developing this strength within ourselves that is going to be really empowering moving forward. Now, the last card that we have here is the High Priestess card, honoring our intuition. Okay, so I've been saying, like, October, the veil is much thinner during this month. And as we get closer to Halloween, we are definitely going to the 31st. We definitely are going to be connecting on an even deeper level with our intuition. Let your intuition guide you through this journey, this healing, this process, this journey toward clarity, toward understanding. I think that if we can allow that, we are going to get to the other side of this Mercury retrograde better than when we came into it, stronger than when we came into it, and definitely ready to take on whatever's coming next for us. And I think we are going to be pretty clear on what our next steps are on the other side of this. So hang in there, guys. We are getting there, and I think we're going to feel so much lighter on the other side of this. So I'm really looking forward to that. But don't skip the struggle. Let yourself stay in this and do this work, because there's a lot of really beautiful gifts in this energy. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Take care. If this resonates with you, or you think it will connect with a specific person, make sure you tag them below. Make sure you share this video, like this video, heart this video. I appreciate all of you that are watching live or on the replay. I always love to hear from you guys in comments, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care, guys.